Hi, Sheryl. How are you? Are you with me? Unmute yourself. I'll unmute you. Hello.
There
Yes,
we go. My hand was
there we
full.
go. How are
Hi.
you?
I'm good. How are you?
Fine. I'm so happy to have you. This
Oh,
is
I'm
so much
happy to be
fun.
here. What is the temperature where you are right now?
I think it's around, this is evening, but on daytime it's rather cool for this time of the year. It was about 17 centigrade. So,
We are sitting at about 3 centigrade right now. It's cold. I got
whoa.
my sweater on. I work outside in the garage, so it's been chilly these days. I've got my warm tea, so this will last me for our conversation.
Great.
It's so
So,
nice to
so,
be here with you. Thank you for having me.
oh, this is wonderful. So I'm in Israel. Where are you?
I'm on Vancouver Island in British Columbia, Canada.
Oh,
So
great.
I was just thrilled when you asked me. I was just like, okay, how many women in Israel build furniture?
I know a few. I actually know a few, yeah,
I'm
but
just sorry, I
very
had to,
few.
pardon me.
I know a few, but very few.
Well,
Like,
we need
like
to
I
change.
can I can count on fingers, I think.
Well, we need to change that. We need to change it around the world. We need
Absolutely.
more women building furniture.
So I want to tell you that I did build furniture in the past. Built bookshelves from
Good.
scratch. Yeah, I planned it. I went to the wood. What do you call them?
The wood
Uh,
store, the
yeah, the
hardware
wood store
store.
because I had to ask them to cut it in a certain way, and um, and then I came home with everything. I filed it and sanded it and I think it was oil that I used. It was pine wood, and then I
Oh,
just built it, and I still have all three. So that was my
yay!
library.
Oh, that's fantastic because I didn't know. Like we were talking before we went on about what trees you have in Israel and what you would use and how expensive the wood is. And but
So so
there's
it's
probably
always
one.
you don't make furniture from wood that grows in Israel. You'd make small stuff because we don't have any uh, big forest.
No,
We if we had them, they were all cut down over the past 2,000, 3,000 years. Um, People were using
wow.
them, and the last of the forest, the big forests of pine, there were oak trees, were cut by the Turks in World War I, 100 years ago,
Oh wow.
for the steam trains. So that was the last of them, and
That's
we don't
quite
have
the
any big
history.
trees. Pardon?
So I said that's quite the history. We've got some old growth forests left, but there's a lot of activists that don't want to chop down. I don't want to chop down either.
Yeah.
There's enough old buildings that we can be using and stuff here. I love using reclaimed timber, but I'm sure
Mhm.
your buildings are stone or clay or brick, or are they wood?
We
Your
do, we
buildings.
do. We build out of stone and bricks. We don't really use bricks. It's more like mortar bricks that we use to build houses here. And
Wow. Well,
yeah,
you know
and
what? There's probably something that you have that we don't have a lot of. In my building, I use a lot of old windows and old doors. And if I
we
could get myself on some wrought iron, do you have old windows and
I
old
think they're all
doors?
mostly rotten windows.
No,
If you get them, they're very few and not in a very good condition. Not in a very good
I thought
condition.
you would because you're such an older
Yeah, yeah,
country.
but
Here, I mean, I'm lucky if I get one that's 75 years old. Down in the United States, they have lots, Europe. And I was thinking, well, maybe Israel has got beautiful old, how about wrought iron? Wrought iron,
raw
old,
iron, if it, yeah, there is some, but a lot of it was destroyed, and I think it's if you're looking for it, it's rather expensive. So
Wow, I didn't realize that.
yeah, there was, and yeah, people, the country is old, but it was not that densely populated, and many of the old houses were just destroyed.
They would have been
So
destroyed in wars and just
not in
falling
wars,
apart over the years.
even just to make space for new houses, for new housing,
Okay,
and yeah, for projects. What
right.
we call
Here, let me.
projects.
I'm gonna grab an old window. I want to
Yeah,
share
yeah,
with you
bring
what
it
we use.
over.
Hold on. Just give me a minute there. I'm still here.
All right. So
I pulled some
I
out to
might
share with
begin by
you.
introducing you, maybe,
See, this
because
is
we
what.
we haven't done any introduction. Oh, I love this.
So, do you have these here? I mean, they're
Some,
getting harder.
some, but very few. Yeah, you can still reclaim some of those. Yeah.
Okay. And this is one I'm using on a cabinet, and I'm just going to clean up. Don't mind the green tape around it, but that's the leaded
Wow,
glass.
great, great.
No?
I love that. I love the lead. Oh, this
Oh,
is
we've got
wonderful.
lots, but it's getting very expensive here because the houses people are reusing them. Most of the cabinets I've built, actually all the cabinets, unless it's a kitchen, have got old windows in them because it's such character.
Yeah,
And then
I've
I
seen
get,
some of
we
your
go to
work.
some of the salvage yards here and they're bringing in, but I think it's more from India. They bring in a lot of the wrought iron gates and
Yeah,
smaller gates, which look really neat on a bookcase when you've got a wrought iron gate on a bookcase, but
yeah.
they're very expensive
Mm-hmm.
to purchase. And then here I try and use a lot of reclaimed woods. So when they're tearing down a house or renovating, I'll get that wood. And it's beautiful. Let me just grab a piece of that. Hold
Yeah.
on. I'm in my workshop here, so don't mind me.
I
But
love
we
that.
can get, like this stuff. I mean, this is part of an old shelf. That's old fir. It's got the chippy paint on it.
Oh, okay. It's fair.
That we have, we can still get this stuff, but it's getting harder and it's getting expensive. I mean, I've been doing this for so long now that, for so long, I'm going to age myself here, that I used to get this stuff for free, but I don't anymore. We pay for it.
Yeah.
And it's more expensive than the good wood now. I mean, this is a piece of pine.
Yeah. Yeah, I recognize
That'll
that.
probably be what you're getting when you say pine. And there's different types of pine too, right? So, but yeah, I thought there would be way more builders, but it's time to you'll have to try and, we'll have to do this again and maybe do a lesson in wood or something like that, or in the tools, or because
Yeah,
you
that
still
that
need to
will be
know how to,
wonderful. But
you
I
know,
want to ask you a few questions first. Okay,
sure.
I haven't even introduced you. So I'm interviewing today Sheryl Gilding. It's fine. I thought about your last name because your last name Gilding is just it comes right with gilded. Or-
It does actually. It does. And I do a lot of image transfers as well. I
yeah.
image transfer prints, and I love doing that.
So Cheryl, will you tell us a little about yourself, who you are, and we already know that we are in your workshop and you're dealing with wood, but
My
how
mess.
you started? Tell us your story. You have a very interesting story, so
Um,
I'd love it if you share it with us.
well, thank you. I don't think it's all that interesting, but I guess maybe it is, right? I always love hearing other people's stories. So my intent was not to be a woodworker years ago. I never even thought about it. I don't even think I used a drill. I was actually going to school for immunology and biochemistry, was what I started out in. And then unfortunately I got sick and I lost my entire last year. And then when I went back, I couldn't quite get into it again. So I went and worked for our government, and I worked with children with special needs and adult with special needs. And I had one lady who lived with me who was really quite a character. I loved her. I still love her, but she was quite violent and had a lot of problems. And just hanging out all day was not a good solution because she got into trouble, and she used to like to break things. And so my friend
Oh,
had a workshop, and I said to him, I said, why don't we come hang out with you? And I need to teach her skills. Like I can't just, I mean, I was getting paid to look after her, but you can't just sit around the house all day. You know, I wanted to teach her those skills. So I said, okay, I've got a new job. We have to go to work. You got to come with me. And she loved it. And she went from hitting and breaking windows and everything else every week to once a year because we got her busy. And I went to this workshop with my friends. And unfortunately, he's passed away now. But I started, you know, I said, teach me how to finish. So he taught me how, I'd never stained anything in my life. So he taught me how to stain. And then she liked math. So we pretended to give her all his books to add up. So she would do his book work, but not really. But she would add up papers and count, and she would do that all day. And I actually paid her. It was not, we paid her, you know, and he paid her. And she used to love playing bingo, so she could go to bingo. So I kind of started there, and I helped him out a bit, but I just did mostly sanding, and I started really enjoying it. So I learned how to finish first. And then I was spraying lacquers, you know, so I became a professional finisher. And then I used to love building more. And then I could get orders for him. I said, look, this lady wants a desk. So he started building more and more. And I kind of watched. I didn't get into much of the building, because I was still looking after her. And this was just for fun. But then I started doing stuff on my own. You know, I thought, this is fun. I want to learn. So I'd phone him up and we'd go up to visit. I'd say, show me how to do this. But I mostly learned on my own. I'm mostly self-taught. So if I can learn this, anybody can learn this. But I did know I needed to be careful. And, you know, I wasn't flippant about safety. I knew you needed safety goggles and you needed to wear the hearing. I knew that from the very beginning. And so I just started building. And if I got stuck, I'd phone him up or go up, and I helped him out quite a bit. And he had a lady that worked for him who was a builder. And then I just started that way. And, it was, and then I had, I ran my own business with it, which I was not a very good employer. I was more running a social service agency than a good employer. I mean, I must admit that. That's a whole other can of worms and stories on that. But I've been so fortunate to be doing this. So, I looked after this lady for about 10 years. And during that time, I learned how to build. I used my dad's old tools. I'm like, Dad, can I use your table saw? And it was an old table saw from like Sears, which no longer exists. So I started out with very rudimentary, just rustic tools. I mean, I've still got them around. I still have his old jigsaw and that jigsaw, I think he bought in the 60s. So I was using tools that were 30 years old then. And you can start out with anything, and then I'd borrow them, and then I started buying them. The good thing is, start out with what you can, but it's always better to buy a better name brand. They just last longer. They've got a little bit more power to them. So I started buying, I wasn't buying commercial table saws that were, $40,000. I certainly wasn't doing that. I was buying your regular DeWalt and Makita, and that's how I got into this. It was not by any chance. I mean, I was working for the ministry. I did work for the ministry contract work probably for about 20 years. And in that I was doing some building, but I would encourage any lady to get out there and give it a try. Even if you just buy yourself a drill, you can hang your own pictures, right?
Mine
just
is
even small
over
things.
30 years old.
I
got a drill for my wedding. I was in my mid-20s, and it stayed with me when we got divorced, which was a couple of years later. And I still have that drill. And one day the head fell apart, and I said, but it's such a good drill. So I went looking for someone to fix it for me, and it was only I think a screw, and he fixed it for me, and I said, okay, how much do I pay? He said, nothing, and
wow,
so it's still working, and it's a wonderful drill.
Because you don't have to build big pieces. This is the thing. There's a lot of ladies in the US and in Canada who are making signs. So you just get a board and you either hand paint it with patterns or freehand, or you buy a Silhouette or a Cricut machine, which I'm sure should be available there. But you're just making signs with wood and plywood and framing them. So you don't need to be building furniture. And they're making a good living. They're running memberships on how to make signs and how to use these. So there is an explosion, because I've been doing this for like 25 years. Stenciling was not new to me. I was stenciling 25 years ago, right? But now it's all the rage again, which is great. But all this wood related products are making these girls money. There's single moms making money. The husbands are quitting their jobs. There's women running
Oh,
memberships on making signs, and they make the files for you to do. And I mean, I do image transferring as well. I should probably show you a picture of that. There's some over there, but it's an explosion. And I think the value that women are adding to the wood industry, whether it's in signs or image transfers or furniture, is really underestimated. It's undervalued, and it's huge, but I don't think anybody's tracking it. I've never
yeah.
come across any numbers of tracking what women are doing, and they're supporting their families, and it's
Oh.
amazing. It's just mind blowing.
So,
So
so you're teaching that? What you have? Yeah,
well, I have a
and I know that
membership.
part of your business it's DIY membership.
Well, what I do is I've got two memberships, and I'm probably going to roll them into one again. But in the DIY masterclass, I teach women how to build furniture. I haven't grown it that big. I wasn't ready to grow it, because life just keeps happening. And I love the ladies that are in my groups. They're beautiful women. And you just sometimes just want to keep things where it's at,
Okay.
but they're beautiful women. And, it's being selfish to not want to grow, because I'm sure there's many other women out there that I can help, because one of the ladies built her own kitchen. Between myself and Google, she's built her own kitchen from the
Whoa.
ground up. Wendy, if you're listening, you're amazing. And so are the other women. And, whether it's part-time, full-time, whether you're selling or just doing it for your own enjoyment, there's something very powerful about learning how to build things and using the tools. And I think the women, you gain a lot of confidence. And, I think a lot of women don't realize how wonderful and beautiful they are, and they struggle with confidence. You stick some power tools in their hands and they start learning, confidence grows. And they
Yes.
soon learn that they're more powerful than the power tool that they're using. So there is a lot to be said. I know it's helped me out over the years. I went through chemo for a while, and I wrote courses on how to build things. And I still need to tweak them and put them out there, but it kept my mind good. So building again was not something I went into. It was just something that landed in my lap, and I took the opportunity and ran with it. I'm still learning. I'm always learning. I've never taken a woodworking course. I mean, I should one day, but I know what I need to know for what I do, right? And what the other ladies want to build. But yeah, so there's the two memberships, and I do teach, and I do encourage other women to get out there. If you can use the tools, you'll never be without work. You'll never have to phone a home handyman. Of course, unless it's electrical or plumbing, right? I don't get into any of that. But you can build your own shelving. You don't need to wait for some gentleman or your husband or some neighbor to come over and do it for you. You can just do it yourself.
Yeah.
And getting started isn't that expensive. You can buy your tools secondhand. You don't have to. I would rather buy a secondhand tool that is a good company than buy a cheap one,
Yeah.
that doesn't have the power behind it. But I always just feel that, it's such a confidence builder. And the more women I seem to be getting into it are women 40 plus.
Yeah.
I think all my group is over 40. I don't think there's any younger ones in there. If there is, I'm sorry. I think there might be one or two.
You're too
But,
busy when you're
it's,
under 40. Under 40, you're busy because you think that you're missing life. And you're
yeah.
busy running around and trying to chase your tail. And then after 40, you just calm down and you say, okay, my tail is behind me all the time. I
Yes.
don't have to chase it. And I just go forward.
Well, I do see, you are so correct. But, when I'm on Instagram, I do see some younger women, who've got little kids that are redoing their farmhouses or redoing their
Yeah.
homes. And I love to see it. I want to support as many people as possible, and I try and comment on all their sites. I mean, they've got millions of followers anyways. They don't need my comments. But hey, it's a comment from a 56-year-old woman who's been in the industry for 25 years,
I love
and
that.
I would love to see more women in the woodworking, just because everybody seems to go into computers and tech and coaching, and nothing wrong with all of that at all. We need all that, but we need more women in this industry because they're amazing. They pay attention to detail. They pour the love into it.
Yeah.
If I make a piece for somebody, I put my heart into it and my soul, and not just, it's not off an assembly line. I love what I do. And I mean, there's some days it's cold and you're tired, you don't feel like it, but that happens with anything. But I'll
So,
have to
so
get you building something more.
oh, I see that one of my someone is coming in. Just a minute. We'll let her in. Welcome, Valentina.
Oh, what a beautiful name. I'm kind of standing funny. I'm standing in amongst, we're building in my
Okay.
group right now, we're building a desk with a drawer. So it's I'll show you. This is here's the drawer. Oh, hi, Valentina.
Hi.
Hi,
Hey, I can sort of
Valentina.
see you.
So,
Hello.
okay, Valentina, you can mute yourself at the moment, and then if you want to ask questions, you're welcome. So we're still having the conversation here.
No, I'm building a desk right here. So there's about 4 girls in my group that are building this desk. And so I've got a couple things on the go, cabinets, and you need plywood for this one. Let me just lift this up. But this is the base. This is underneath the top.
Wow.
And the drawer goes in here. And then the top is behind me over there. You can see the top there. That goes on. And then we're doing the legs and the feet. So these things, they're not hard to do. They're just, hey, I can sit down here. I can warm my behind up a bit.
Okay.
It is cool out here. But, it's so much fun. You could build stuff to sell it. You could build stuff for your friends. You could build stuff to keep. And it's endless.
Yeah. So you build mostly furniture?
And I do the image transfers, which are furniture and kitchens. I was doing kitchens, but
You build
let me just grab
kitchens?
one here. Everybody doesn't. I got things stacked up to dry. Let's see if I can pull this off.
So that's a kitchen door? A cardboard door? What is it?
This is these prints.
Yeah.
Cheap.
Okay. Wow.
I've got a bit
Yeah.
more paper to take off, but these are the image transfers. We've got about 15 different artists from around the world
Okay.
that paint and supply me with the digital files, which I share with my members. And this is one of them. It
Okay.
still needs work because you transfer it onto plywood
Okay.
and then
then?
you frame it.
You frame it. Okay.
And then they're framed and you put a finish on it. I had some more out here. Let me just see if there's a smaller one. Oopsie. See, here's a smaller one. They go on to 3/4 inch birch plywood.
Yeah.
There's a Santa Claus.
Okay. Okay.
That was painted by a lady in Argentina.
Right. Wow.
So they're fun. They're completely different, but what it is you're taking a print and you're gluing it to the wood face down, and then you remove that paper.
Okay.
So there's, we've got about 15 different artists. I've got so much stuff. Here is another Christmas one. This one was really cute.
So
and
afterwards they're selling those? The women?
Yeah, like this is like a tag, the shape of a tag. And look how cute it is. It's mice in a stocking, right? I mean, this is Christmas here, right? But you put a ribbon in here, you finish it off, you spray it, stain the sides, and they sell.
Okay.
They sell well. But again, wood related, you've got to be able to cut the wood out. You can frame them and stuff like that, and they are lots of fun to do. So those are all like image transfers. Here was a deer I have to put together. These were all Christmas ones.
Wow, nice.
Yeah, so that one I'll put together, and you can make it into a tray, or it can hang on the wall, and you add ribbons, or there's so many. And what I see, the prints come like this.
Okay. And these are digital prints, but they're actually copies of real paintings?
Yeah, so there's 15 artists that we use, and they paint, like the lady in Argentina, Lillian, painted this rabbit. So it's on a big canvas at her house, but she scans it or takes a high resolution photo of it. She sends me the files, and I have the prints made. And this one, they're from all over the world. We get them from Russia, from Poland.
Okay.
They're beautiful. And that will all transfer onto wood. So just lots of fun. What's so amazing is that when you're working from artists from around the world, it's just, there's one lady who's got a daughter with, I think it's cerebral palsy. But, there was a lady in Siberia, of all places, Siberia in Russia.
Wow.
Poland and Argentina and Serbia. They're from all over the world, which makes it so amazing. Oopsie, I
Oh,
lost you
wow.
there.
Just a minute. Did I mute you? No, I didn't. I thought I
No,
was
no, I'm
muting you.
still here. So, you know, and this one, this is another, I mean, these ones are so pretty. You know, they're sheep in a
Okay.
barn with snow.
Whoa.
You know, so
Okay.
that's, you know, so you need to start out with something small. You start out doing image transfers or trays or anything along those lines, and you just go from there. But it's wonderful working with all these different artists because you get to know them, you get to know their families, and they're just beautiful people, and that connection that you make around the world is beautiful. And it's just, there's another lady from Pakistan who did the first cow that we had, and she's now living in the UK, but just beautiful work. And without the internet, I mean, isn't the internet an amazing thing? Without the internet, we never would have met. I
Yeah.
would
How
never
do
have
you
met
meet
any of
them?
these
How do you find
artists
those ladies?
by being online. You know, I'm
Okay.
online a lot, and then I follow different groups of artists, and then it just goes from one to another, and then we just end up finding them. I find them on outsourcing platforms, but it's taken me 6-7 years to find these ladies
Because
and
you're
men. There's
looking
a
for
couple of
some
men
for
too.
very specific things, don't you?
Yeah, and they need to understand, like, in Russia, they cannot, there's a couple of artists that I would love to have from Russia, but they cannot send me, some of them send me the original artwork, but in Russia, they're not allowed to send their artwork out. They have to go through a big, huge, long, I guess I can get the digital artwork because I do have a couple of Russian girls that paint that are just brilliant, but to actually send the painting out, that's against the law there to send your paintings out. You have to
Oh,
actually go through all these steps to send out your paintings with their local laws. I didn't know that, you know, so because there's
okay.
a beautiful artist there, and I mean, I'm sure he's not watching this because he wouldn't know, but his paintings are incredible. And like, I will buy these paintings from you. And he says he cannot send them. There's too much paperwork to send them out of Russia. They keep them there. And I'm like, send me the files. And he still can't. He's quite a
Even the
well-known.
files he cannot send you?
I think he doesn't believe in prints, you know, and I'm like trying to convince him that, you know, you need to share your beautiful artwork with us from around the world. And if we can't buy it, how else can we enjoy it? So I
Yeah.
sent him another message this morning saying, will you consider doing it? What I asked him was, I said, will you do an original for us? Because we try and keep to originals with all the ladies with our group. So will you paint us an original? Send me the digital file. And then because you cannot sell the original to me or ship it out of the country, will you please sell it to somebody in the country and give it to a family with a sick child? So I put that to him this morning. I'm saying, you know, keep the money. Like if I pay you $400 US, you send me the files, you keep the original artwork, and you sell it and give that money to a family that's struggling. So I'll see what he says.
Okay.
I asked him that, you know, I really want his artwork, but you know, he's not one, I think his artwork's so good, he doesn't want to see it as prints.
Okay.
Maybe it'll devalue it. And I'm like,
Oh,
no, we value this. We think it's beautiful and we love it. But there's all these different things, you know, and working with different countries, and the girls, you know, they have to have either a really good camera or access to a really good scanner, you know, otherwise,
yeah,
and when it comes to image transfers, you lose some of the color. So I need
I
prints
know.
that are more vibrant, unless we want that kind of faded look. So, but it's all wood related because you can put them on trays, you can put them on wood and hang them all on the wall, you can put them on furniture. Just so much fun.
Yeah, sounds like this. This is wonderful.
I love your mandalas.
Ah, this is my work. This is what I
It's
teach.
beautiful.
That's what I teach. Actually, this one behind me on the right, this is the first time I held a brush and I held a canvas. I never painted a canvas before, and I decided that I wanted to
Wow.
paint a mandala. And I did some mandalas and you know, with pencils, etc., but never. And this one is the one I just bought. I bought some not very expensive paints, acrylic paints, and I painted this one, and I still love it. I think I love it more than
It's beautiful.
anything else that I have here. So yeah,
But I see one there and one up there. They're beautiful.
this one,
They're beautiful. And there's
yeah,
another one up on the wall.
right. So and this is one behind me here. You
Oh,
see?
beautiful.
Yeah. So I'm doing now. I'm going to do workshops on going, and I decided to do them live, not to put them into an online course. I have an online course, but I'm going to teach some of the techniques that I used in those and in different ones. I'm going to do them online now.
Well, they're
But
beautiful.
live. 3 hours we'll sit together and paint a
Oh,
mandala.
well, I'll have to join you for that. That would be
Oh,
amazing.
love that. I'd love that.
That
So
would be
anyhow,
amazing.
I want you, you have a very interesting story, and because you became a mother at an older age when you thought you were never going to be a mom.
Yeah,
Oh,
I didn't think I could get pregnant. I do. I have a beautiful little girl who's 11 and she has Down syndrome. And she
yes.
wants to learn how to build. I give her the hammer, but I gotta be careful with that right now. But she's doing well. She's got stage 3 kidney disease, which has been a bit rough. She was
Was she born
diagnosed with
with it,
that
or did she get it later on?
later on. It was the formula that she was
Oh,
on, destroyed her kidneys, unfortunately. But I was just finishing up treatment for breast cancer, and she was getting sick. And I think they all thought, most of them thought it was behavioral because she was having these meltdowns. Well, it wound up being kidney stones. And,
wow.
luckily we do have a good, I mean, no medical system is perfect, but we're pretty freaking lucky here in Canada and in British Columbia. I don't pay for anything. And,
It's not the USA.
no, like I don't pay for anything. And I think friends of mine down in the States are like blown away. I mean, I had breast cancer and I had 18 months of treatment. I didn't pay for that.
Yeah.
So
We don't
yes, a
pay
lot
for
of
it in
people,
Israel either.
you
You
don't pay
actually,
either.
actually in Israel, once you're diagnosed with cancer, any kind of cancer, you go on Social Security right away, and you're allowed. You have all sorts of Social Security support just because you're ill, and this is,
Wow.
yeah, and
So yeah, because here, I went through a rough time. I did that for a brief period of time, but the woman I was dealing with was actually horrible to me. So I went off of it.
wow,
And, and I went back to trying to build and do what I could. But, I was building and then she was diagnosed. So, I mean, in Canada, we are lucky. In British Columbia, we're lucky. I mean, so many people don't have access to medical at all. So I will never complain. Yes, you might wait for a hip replacement or those sort of things. It's not perfect, but I am grateful.
yeah,
And, and when I was coming out of that, she was diagnosed and all those behavioral episodes wound up being kidney stones. So it
whoa,
was quite a rough period of time. And then we were back and forth with her in the hospital for about a year. So it was a rough go, for a while there, but you just got to stay strong. It was breast cancer and she's alive and I'm alive, touch wood.
yeah.
I've got nothing to complain about, right?
She looks very cute. I saw some of her pictures and
Oh,
on
she's a sweetheart.
yeah,
She
on
gets a little
Instagram.
attitude though, but that's lots of fun, And again, I'm lucky I'm here in Canada. I mean, she's got a full-time EA at her school. I don't know if the school's funded for all of it, but they've given her a full-time EA who is amazing. And her name's Marilyn, and she's beautiful, and she's got a beautiful teacher, and the school's amazing. They're really good to her. It's a regular public school. I kind of
Yeah.
want her to go to private school when she goes to high school, though. We'll see about whether I can get her in, but it's been interesting. It's been a rocky 11 years, but when you've got things, sorry, it's a bit noisy out there right now, but when you've got stuff that just trucks are going by, they're building down the road. So sorry about that. I can't complain. We're in Canada. None of
No,
us in Canada should be complaining, but I know things aren't perfect. I know there's certain parts of the country that still needs clean water in this day and age and things like that. But where I am grateful. So, and then I can build, right? I'm free to do what I
yeah,
want. And
yeah.
I know a lot of women aren't free to do what they want. And I'm lucky. It's been a rough ride, but we're very fortunate.
You
No
sound
complaints no complaints from this peanut gallery, that's for sure.
yeah. No, you
Got
sound
wonderful
very
people.
optimistic. I love that. And
You either I think you don't have a choice. You either deal with it, but there's you know, some people have pretty sad stories, you know, and they come out still, you know, and I'm blown away by some. I mean, because we're both on Clubhouse, I've heard some of the stories on Clubhouse, and
Yeah.
I'm just amazed that what some of these women have gone through and the strength. But you can choose to either turn it around
Yeah.
and do something good with it, or you
Yeah.
I wouldn't say self-pity, but it serves no one. And if you can take your story and turn it around and give back, it makes you stronger and you feel better. So selfish, yes, but hey, if you're helping somebody at the same time, you know, it's not selfish, is it?
It's
You
not
know, and
selfish. If you take care of yourself, it's not at all selfish.
no, us
Taking care
ladies
of
have to
yourself, I think,
realize
is
that.
foremost. That's what you have first to do. I mean,
Yeah,
it's like when you go on the plane and the pressure drops, and they tell you first put on the oxygen mask on your face, then take care of others, because
yeah,
you're no use to others to other
no,
people
none.
if you're dysfunctioning dysfunctional. So you have to take care of yourself first, and then you can take care of others. That's
Well, it was that was a very hard lesson for me because you felt like, you know, trying to be a martyr doesn't serve anybody. You know, I mean, Nevaeh still does not sleep through the night. I have not slept through the night in 11 years, going on 12 years. I've never slept through the night.
wow.
You know, we're up about 4 times a night with her because, you know, she's still in diapers and she has a feeding tube, but she drinks mostly pureed foods. But, you know, my mom helps out. My mom is in her 80s, you know, and I feel selfish sometimes, but at the same time, if I don't let my mom help out, I will get very sick because
Yeah.
I can't not go without some sleep. I mean, I average maybe 3 hours straight at a time if I'm lucky. You know, it's all broken up. But, you know, my mom and my sister will be staying with us too. And I had to take that help and not just be the martyr and go, don't worry about it. But my mom's getting up to go to the bathroom anyways. So she'll check on her, you know, and it was really getting over that whole martyr thing. And, you know, actually, in the last couple of months, I've had 3 naps. In 12 years, I never had a nap. But now I'm learning how to say, I am really, really, really tired. We've had a bad night. I have to go close my eyes for half an hour. And I still feel guilty and it's still hard, but I'm doing it. I've done it 3 times in
Wow.
the last 4
You're
months.
still counting it.
I know it's bad, isn't it?
It's bad. It's bad. Yeah. Yeah.
I got to quit doing that. But you know, it's a really hard thing, you know, because I got to get the dishes done, the laundry. I got to get out and build. I got to go live. I want to be with the beautiful ladies in my groups. You know, you want to talk to your friends once in a while. And now I'm just like, I'm turning the phone off. I'm done for half an hour. And I say that to my parents. My parents are happy I'm doing that. No one
Yeah.
was ever begrudging me having a nap. There's not one person would say to me, you're not to have a nap. But it was me. It was all me, right? They're like, go and have a nap. And I'm like, no, I got to get this done. And, you know, and it takes you 10 times longer because you're exhausted. So
Yeah.
you might as well go have a half-hour cat nap, you
Mhm.
know, but that was all mindset, you know. Funny, Clubhouse has been great for a lot of mindset stuff too, you know. Yeah, I would say if anybody's not on Clubhouse, you should be on Clubhouse.
Yeah. So,
But
so if the people who are on the live with us, if they don't know what Clubhouse is a new platform, a new social media platform, audio only, and you get to talk to people. That's how I met Cheryl, which is
yes,
amazing. We met in one of the rooms, and I just connected. I connected right away. I mean, I liked her, and I liked the energy. And then we you can't on Clubhouse you can talk, but people are there, so you can either go to a private room or you connect through Instagram. I think many people saw a growth in their Instagram
oh
account.
yeah,
I did just because of Clubhouse. So, and Clubhouse is iOS only at the moment. I
yeah,
think
iPhones
in a
only.
couple of months, I think they already have it on Android as well. I don't
I
know.
think so. You know, I just can't. I am so grateful to be in this age where we have the internet because I don't know what I would have done without it. I'm sure I would have survived, but the opportunities that are there, I remember Bill Gates reading something about Bill Gates, and he said that he's not the smartest man in the world. He wasn't this, he wasn't that. What happened with him? It was opportunity, and he took it.
Yeah.
You know, he took it and ran with it. So I look at everything and I go, we have no excuse. We could, unless you have no access to the internet and you live in some real rural poor country and you can't even go to a library, you can learn so much on the internet and you can grow businesses on the internet. We are so lucky. Like, I just feel like opportunity meets talent, meets drive, meets persistence. You cannot not win. You know, you got to be smart about it, and you might have to work some things around, but you can't not win. You can Google anything these days. I don't know if I want to go to a brain surgeon who learned brain surgery on Google, of course,
No,
but you know, for
I think
everything
some of
else,
the things that you still, I mean, brain surgery,
yes.
you need a lot of hands down with a master. Yeah,
But for the
like
rest of us, you can Google everything. You know,
yeah,
you can Google. I mean, I'm learning how to make flatbread online from a lady in Mexico.
actually, yeah,
You know, and
absolutely.
I just love it. She's on TikTok, I think, and I just got onto TikTok, and TikTok has blown my mind too, because I thought TikTok was a younger person's kind of entertainment dating site. I didn't realize how great it was. I've learned so much on TikTok. You got to be careful. You can spend all day on these platforms, and
Yeah,
some
I
people
know.
do. They've
I
turned it into a
actually
business.
opened a TikTok and I have about three TikTok movies there, but I haven't figured out what I need to do there yet. And unless it's my dancing, and that will go well. So I thought maybe I'll just dedicate TikTok for my dancing, as
Well, you can do
I'm a
anything.
dance teacher as well. So
Wow.
yeah,
Can you
I'm a
imagine me
belly
watching?
dancer. You wouldn't believe it, but
I've got the
I
belly.
look like this. Pardon?
I have a belly. Does that count?
Yeah, but we all have a belly, so
Oh no, I could probably jiggle my belly. You know, after having a C-section, that didn't help my belly, but maybe dancing would help me get rid of my belly that I'm trying so hard to get rid of one day. Or I'm starting on that now, actually. But you're dancing. Yeah, you should be doing that on TikTok. But you know,
yeah,
just with the internet, we would not have this conversation. I would
right,
never have met
right.
a beautiful woman from Israel had it not been for, you know, and I did take the opportunity. I'd never heard of Clubhouse. I was in somebody else's membership. She's like this lady named Rachel Miller, who's fantastic, but she's all about growing audiences. I'm in her group, and she goes, "You guys, you need to get on TikTok. Let's all share." This is, you know, 6 months ago when you had to get the invite, which you still
Yeah,
do. And again, I took that opportunity instead of going, I'm not trying anything new. I
I
had a
did
really
the
open
same.
mind. I'm like, yeah, hell yeah, count me in. You know, and now
I
I'm
went
growing
I
a
went to
clubhouse.
yeah, I did the same thing. I wasn't uh you know, it's like Amy Porterfield.
I've been,
And
yes, I love
online
Amy Porterfield.
marketing made it easy. There was someone on her podcast. I listened to his podcast, and then I entered a Facebook group that he has. And then on that Facebook group, I heard about Clubhouse. And somebody else, I didn't even know what it was. He said, I have invites. I said, okay, I want one. I didn't even know what it was, but I just kind of said opportunity. And I went in and I started listening, and I just fell on, the $1 million club or something
That's
like
what I
that.
was into
And
too.
so I said, these people, what are they talking about? And they were talking investments and etc. But it's little by little. I started going into other rooms and searching, and I'm still searching my way there. I'm having a room tomorrow, by the way, and then
Oh,
you might
good.
like it because it's taking care of older parents and
I would
maintaining
love
a
that.
job.
Yeah, my parents are both in their 80s, but you know, if when I was in Rachel and Amy Porterfield know each other very well, I'm sure. If when Rachel made that announcement, let's all follow each other, and you know, when you get on, you invite the next person, and we went through that whole loop. If I didn't take that opportunity instead of going, oh, social media and being so skeptical, okay, it was free. You know, I know people are going, oh, they're tracking you. I'm like, oh, I'm done with the conspiracy theories. You know what I mean? Like, somebody that I admire has got this opportunity for me. I'm taking it, you
Yeah.
know, and then it did take me a bit to work around Clubhouse, but you know, it's who you follow. It's the algorithms. They'll share the room with you. You know, if you follow just the rich guys in all their rich rooms, that's all you're going to
Yeah,
get
that's what
shown.
you
So I
get.
try and follow different people, so
So
that
do I.
I'm other rooms open up to me. So I could actually say to every viewer, if you're not on Clubhouse, the information that I have been given and gifted on Clubhouse has blown my mind.
So
It's free.
Fine.
you know, and again, opportunity, you take it, you know, and it'll get you far in life, you know, and especially if you're shy, you've got to get up there and raise your hand and say it and speak. You know, again, it's the whole confidence thing. Everybody has value to add. Whether you have a following or no following, you've probably been through something in your life that you could add a tip to someone else's. This is about giving. Clubhouse is about adding value and giving to other people and helping them in their life. I mean, you can get into some weird rooms. I'm sure there's weird ones all the time, but there's weird stuff everywhere. You just don't go in those rooms. So, you know, if you hadn't listened to Amy Porterfield, and I hadn't listened to Rachel, you know, and we would never have met.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be talking to a beautiful lady in Israel.
All the people, I mean, I have lined up. I'm a woman, a Russian girl that lives in Dubai, and she's DJ, and I said, okay, I want a musician, and another one who is, I think she's from Mongolia, and she lives in the U.S. She's also a musician. Different kinds of music. So I've spoken to them, and little by little, I'm really this show is for creatives of all sorts. So it will be, and it's interesting for me, the people that I meet now, because I have a circle here in Israel of people that I know, and I have the circle, you know, the women who are now online with us, and they are artists, most of them. But now I just get to meet people who do mind-blowing things.
I know, it's just incredible. You know, the women you meet and the powerful women you meet and the stories you hear are just, unless you're on Clubhouse and you're listening, you know, unless you're not on Clubhouse, you will have no idea until you give it a try, because it is mind-blowing. My head hurts. In fact, I've got a book where there's so many wicked tips given out. I'm writing them down, and I screenshot people that I need to go back and follow, because you can't keep up. It's on every subject imaginable. You can go in and open up your own room like you are on dancing. I'm gonna have another room on the weekend on building stuff, you know, on the tools. And I'll do another room on image transferring. But I do pop into the rooms that are single parents, or they're parents of children with special needs, or it's a breast cancer group. I pop in, I give my little 2 bits, you know, maybe it's got some value to somebody, you know, so way too much fun. I think they should be paying all of us for, no, I don't, because I've had so much free stuff from them, but Clubhouse, a big lover, a big supporter. And again, we would never have met.
So what I want to do, I want to ask Valentina or Catherine, if you hear me, can you unmute yourself? If you want to ask questions to, you ask Sheryl anything, or you want to say something, you're really invited. And I want to see if there is somebody online with us.
I don't know if I can see online.
No, the online you can't see. I see it. And
okay.
I'm the only person online. I'm the only person there. So it's no problem. But if Catherine or Valentina, if you want to ask anything, so you're absolutely welcome to unmute yourself and talk to us. I don't see. Okay, none of them is doing that at the moment. So
I'm talking to you now.
Just a minute, there is somebody here. Hi, Catherine.
Hello. It is nearly 7 o'clock in the morning on Friday here in New Zealand, and I've still got my dressing gown on, so I'm not going to.
Okay, okay.
So I'm not going to turn my video on because I'm still in my dressing gown.
Okay, but it's wonderful that you're here with us. And so we've got, it's all parts of the world, because Catherine is New Zealand, I'm in Israel, and you're in British Columbia in Canada. This is amazing. So Catherine, do you have any questions to ask Sheryl?
Well, yes, I would like to, because I came in late, sorry, because I only got up about 6:30. So this image transfer that you're putting on trays and things like that of original work, you get a high quality photocopy. Is it from the artwork?
Where are you? Hi, and it's so nice to speak to somebody in New Zealand. This is so cool.
Thank you.
You're probably a lot warmer than I am right now. What you do, the whole thing behind image transferring, it's the idea of, it's different than decoupage, but what you're doing is you need to use a laser printer. It has to be a toner printer. It does not work as well. So printing out from an inkjet printer doesn't work. When in our group, we supply the digital files and you send them to somebody, most of the places do 11 by 17 or 12 by 18 prints only. Anything larger than that goes into inkjet. It doesn't work. So we actually do sell the prints as well that are done with a colored wax printer, which seems to work. But you need to have a clear piece of wood. I use gesso. That is the one that glues it down. And then it's a good quality print. I mean, they're usually printed out at 300 DPI anyways, but the key is you have to use, inkjet does not work as well. It needs to be a toner print. Use toner. Toner is the stuff in the machine, but it's a laser printer that you're using. And they turn out fun. I mean, on my Gilded Daisy page, if you click on videos, there's lots of videos on how to do it. You just got to scroll through some of them. I was doing them all the time, but they're fun. They're lots of fun. But the key is to get the result, don't use inkjet. Do not use inkjet. It just does not work as well.
Right. Okay. I'll have to have a look and see what kind of printer mine is. I've no idea what it is.
Most are, if you didn't pay a lot of money, there'll be an inkjet printer. I mean, there's more expensive inkjet printers, but I can pick up here in Canada an inkjet printer for under $100. Whereas the something like Brother puts out a laser, and that's going to cost me about, last time I looked, it was $539 Canadian. So in US dollars cheaper. I'm not too sure what our exchange is like, but there's a big difference from 100 to 500. So if you're really getting a real cheap printer, it's mostly likely an inkjet printer if you didn't pay a lot of money for it. And also you don't use cartridges, the little cartridges you put in. This is different. Toner is completely different, and you would be filling it up differently as well. So I hope that helped you. And just get a hold of me and I'll help you through it.
If I go on your website, it shows how to do it. Is that right?
On my Gilded Daisy page. The website is mostly for the members. I should start posting more videos on there, but the website just has a main page and the rest is private. But it's on the Gilded Daisy page, the actual Facebook page, the Gilded Daisy. I've got a lot of videos on there I posted over the years. You just got to click on video and scroll through some of them. And I'm going to do some more lives this week too. So if you come hang out there this week, I'm going to do some more lives because I've got some new prints I want to share.
I think I put the link to her page on the event on the Mandala Healing.
Yes, you did.
Page.
Yeah, I saw that.
And anyway, I'll put it on this video as well.
Lovely.
Well, thank you.
And thank you also for the information about Clubhouse, because I've only just heard of it and didn't really quite know what it was.
Oh, great.
So, yeah.
Do you have an iPhone or an iPad?
No.
Okay, because even with the iOS, when they launched the iOS, I have got invites, and it's no problem getting you invited there, if they don't open it up completely for anyone. So once they do that, I'll let you know, and I'll send you an invitation.
Oh, thank you. Okay? That's great. All right.
Great.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. So anybody else? Valentina, you want to ask a question?
Yeah, yes, I do. Hi, Sheryl and Yael.
Hi.
First of all, you're very inspiring, and I find
thank you.
Your story really amazing. I'm like Catherine. I look like I just got up.
So, no, you don't.
But first of all, gosh, we have a lot in common. I have a son who has cerebral palsy, and he's tube fed, and he's pretty severely involved, but he's a light. And so I paint, and I'm creative in all kinds of ways, like with my home and all that. But I just have a little bit of, not a little, a lot of kind of stuck energy, and with the pandemic and everything, it's been, and even before that, it's been easy to become isolated. And so I'm curious about, your platforms And also, to learn how to do some of the things you do. I asked for, what is it? Not a jigs, it's a Bosch, and maybe it's a jigsaw, because I wanted to make things and out of wood. And then I never used it. I think when my son was first a couple of years old, or the first couple of years, he was in a lot of pain and was real irritable. And I think the thing that kept my sanity was watching some of these art craft shows. And there was a guy on, Christopher Lowell, and I don't know if you got him up there, but it kept my sanity because he was always doing different things. And, like that's why I got the jigsaw. Anyway, so I guess, do you have a studio or place? Are you in your studio now where you can just stay focused and shut out the world? Because it's hard for me to do that here.
No, Valentina, I just, you have a beautiful name. And how old is your son?
He's 26.
Wow. He must be beautiful and amazing though, too.
Yeah,
It's tough. I actually had a beautiful workshop. And then when when my daughter was born, I gave it up after a while because I couldn't go there. So I had a beautiful workshop. And then when I went through breast cancer, I actually ended up moving in with my parents because I couldn't work. And then I'm here and I'm renovating their house, but I am in my garage. And as far as the noise and stuff, I don't get away from it. I'm with my parents. My sister's moving in. My daughter is this like nonstop chatter. She's so wonderful, but she's at school for about 4 hours a day. I have to just, how do I put it? I just have to say to everybody, I'm going outside for a couple of hours, you know, and I'm gone. And I can honestly say, like you, being creative was what kept me sane. I know you can have a faith and whatever your faith is, and you can have all of that and great friends, but there's got to be something that works in that mind to keep that mind learning. And I found learning and writing and sharing. Hi, there you are. Look how beautiful you are. It kept me sane. And it still keeps me sane. And, some days because it's a business, like anything else, you get kind of tired, but, I'm just so excited to share with the ladies in my group, and they keep you going. And, and I also, Clubhouse has opened up a lot of doors for me, and a lot of, I'm coming in. Sorry, my dad, I have to get my daughter's lunch ready and I have to puree her food, Valentina. I puree all my daughter's foods. That's the only way she can eat them as well. But she is using a sippy cup right now. But just getting, me just being on Clubhouse was really good for even my mindset. And because I was so isolated.
Excuse me, do you need an invite for that?
Yeah, but I have invites for you if you need.
Yeah, I've got 7 right now. But it's being around, you've got to be around inspiring people. Right. That's what keeps me going, because I've been really isolated going through breast cancer. I was with my parents, but with COVID, we see nobody.
Oh, I know.
My life is online. Besides going to the park with my beautiful daughter, or even when no one's coming here for Easter. It's just my parents and I and my daughter. But we're gonna make it great just for us, right? And get online, and you just have to surround yourself online if you have to. Look how beautiful you are, though. You didn't just wake up. It keeps your mind so good, and you meet amazing people. I turn on Clubhouse in the morning, and I don't listen to the news. I stay away from everything negative that I can. And does your son live with you then?
He does. And so we have caregivers in our home, probably about 11 to 12 hours a day.
Yeah, it's a lot.
I also went through breast cancer.
Wow, and you're right here.
Yeah.
How long ago was that?
That was 7 years ago. 8.
Yeah, mine was about 4 or 5.
Yeah. I was taking care of, everybody else but myself.
Yeah.
And I love what you say about resting. Because you
have to really, I honestly think my cancer came from stress and eating crap.
Yes. Yeah.
I was in the hospital so much, I was eating crap. I was eating donuts. And I really believe stress can trigger things, and I really try and stay away from anything negative now. You're always going to have negative. My daughter is a lot of work, but she's beautiful work. I don't find looking after her stressful. Right. And I know you love your son, but it was those external stresses that are very unnecessary. And you've got to, I hate to say it, some people, you just can't have them in your life. You want, and everybody, and I'm not saying not to have everybody in your life, everybody goes through down times, but it's their attitude. You know, it was those really negative people I had to kind of just limit, you know, like, I'm done, I'm not doing this anymore. And luckily most people have been fantastic, but being creative has building. You know, I'm really tired. You have a rough day, but if I get out and do something, I'm really careful about what I build, because you know, you're working with tools, you got to be careful, right?
Right.
But it's an escape. I don't even hear anybody. Of course, I hear my daughter, but when I'm outside working, I'm just like, whereabouts do you live?
I live in the U.S. I live in San Diego, California.
Oh, cool.
Where it's really beautiful right now. Although
And
we're
you
having
can go outside and work.
Yeah, well, yes, I do that, and I've taken various painting classes, and have met some, you know, really wonderful people in these groups. Most of them, their children are grown, and they don't have anybody living at home with them, and they take all the time they need to meditate and all these things. I just can't.
I hear you on that, because I get the same thing. You get into some of these, you know, groups, and they're like, okay, when you get up, you need to meditate for half an hour and then go make your smoothie and take your dog for a walk. I'm going, okay, obviously you don't have kids, you know, and it'll be some young single guy or single lady that doesn't have all the things that we have. And it just makes it crazy. But you can come hang out anytime, Valentina. You have such a beautiful name. And you've got a lot on your plate, and you have to remember to love yourself.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna have to go in a minute, just because I have to make her lunch and get it to the school by 11:30.
I'll go.
My dad's pacing around because I have to puree her foods and get them up there for them to have her lunch.
Right.
I feel so bad for cutting out here, but
no.
my life right now.
I know, I get it completely.
You know what I mean?
I can connect with you online.
Yes, please do.
So maybe
please
tell
do.
us. Maybe tell us, Sheryl, how people can find you online. That's important.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm coming, Dad. My dad's standing there. What I do is you can get me through the Gilded Daisy or Sheryl Gilding. I do have the one membership. If you ever want to join, it's only $39 right now still. But I do teach all the woodworking and stuff. But I'm not here to sell myself. I just, you know, if somebody wants to join, great. If not, this was a blast. It wasn't about that. But yeah, on the Gilded Daisy or Sheryl Gilding, or I'm also on Instagram, and you can DM me. But do get into Clubhouse. Get an invite from either one of us. I think Clubhouse will be very beneficial to you, because there's rooms in there for adults, you know, parents with special needs children. And you get into them, and, you know, they've got, you know what it is, the support. It's the, you know, it's the support at 2:00 in the morning when you're not sleeping. You know, I wish I had Clubhouse when we were in the hospital for months on end.
Clubhouse is 24/7. It's just,
it's beautiful.
It's beautiful.
Clubhouse.com.
We'll get a hold of you after this, because you've got to have an invite, and we need your cell phone number.
Okay.
So I'll talk to you later. I'll send you an email.
Thank you, Sheryl. You'd better go. I understand.
Okay.
You get it.
Thank you so
Dad's
much.
sitting in the car waiting for me to get her thermos of food.
Oh boy.
Thank you so much for being a guest here. You're so inspiring. And
we just talk all day with you guys, but you know, life calls, and
all right. So I'll talk to you, and thank you so much. And we'll do something to continue.
We sure will. And again, sorry for cutting out, but I've got to go get my daughter her food. And
all right.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Have a wonderful day, everybody.
You too.
Bye, Valentina.
Bye, Sheryl.